Boys and girls, want to hear a true story? Saturday night, I was at this real wild party. They had the liquor overflow in the cup, about 5 or 6 strippers trying to work for a buck. I took one girl outside with me. Her name was Lonnie. She went to junior high with me. I asked her, why are you up in there dancing for cash? I guess a whole lot's changed since I seen you last. And she said, what would you do if your son was at home, crying all alone on the bedroom floor because he's hungry, and the only way to feed him is to sleep with a man for a little bit of money, and his daddy's gone, somewhere smoking rock now, in and out of lockdown, I ain't got a job now. So for you, this is just a good time. But for me, this is what I call life. Prostitution is oftentimes referred to as the world's oldest profession, but it can also be referred to as one of the most dangerous as well. A study by Melissa Farley and Norma Hodling found startling statistics about prostitutes in the San Francisco area. 82% reported being physically abused, and 68% reported being raped. This is made even more alarming considering that 88% of the prostitutes polled wish to escape the lifestyle. Sometimes people approach prostitutes offering help to them, but after years of exploitation and abuse, they find out that helping them will take a lot more than just offering a helping hand. Through the poetry, Kaleidoscope by Levi the Poet, 16-Year-Old Prostitute by Lola Scheinel, and the lyrics of What Would You Do by City High, a program, unfinished projects. She had a stained glass window for a heart, a shoebox for a chest cavity, and a kaleidoscope for a soul that would reflect its light back at me. Depending on the day, she's shown different colors. She says, you're talking about me like you know what I mean, but you know nothing. Nothing about living this kind of life. Baby doll, my heart is as black as my lungs are. I keep bitterness in these cabinets next to all my bad habits. You either find faith or lose it. You either have it or had it. Well, I have had it. So I wear my smile on the good days that I keep in these baskets where my grimace facing life without the opiate for the masses. You pop your God, like these pills that I take to bear the circumstances. So what's the difference? I called out to your God, but he never listened. You call it praying? I'm just wishing things were different. I try to find memories in her bone structure, in her freckles, in her eyebrows, along the curvature of her smile, but I find a stranger in her face. Nothing to connect her back to someone I once loved as a child. She's just a ghost of who she never had a chance to become. Forced to wear skin and bones that don't belong to her anymore. It's too painful, so I try not to remember. But her song keeps me up at night, so I can't forget that. She sells pussy on the corner of Lexington and 23rd. 10 blocks away from the middle school she never graduated from, 5 blocks away from the crack house she spends weekends dragging her mother out of. She never had a chance. Her dreams ceased to exist the moment she wrapped her lips around the tip. It was potent. The realization coated her throat, and like a big girl, she swallowed. Because the world does not stop to coddle the problems of a lost cause with hesitation. I pause. Girl, you ain't the only one with the baby. That's no excuse to be living life all crazy. Then she looked me right square in the eye and said, every day I wake up hoping to die. She said, I know about pain, because me and my sister ran away, so my daddy couldn't rape us. See, before I was a teenager, I'd done been through more shit you couldn't even relate to. She says her mama was a little crazy, a little lazy, a little biased towards the media mainstream, prone to fainting, or calling it fainting, after passing out from the blazing. Just after Papa came home late for the haze, and the alcohol made him crazy. So that's when I started praying. But nothing started changing. So that's when I started blaming. We're all on our own. There's no, the stars are empty. There's no hand out there to save me. Just save me. She loved Vogue, an American teen magazine, almost as much as she loved vomiting. Try to fit the model women that you'd see on the movie screens. She says, I believe that she loved me, and maybe it was a fantasy, but I believe she cared for me as much as she cared for her methamphetamines. I remember at 9, we promised we'd never touch that stuff, that we'd never turn into our mothers. I swear I would never touch prescription pills, but I guess you forgot that rock kills and turns families into strangers with mothers. Maybe if we had strong ones, we would have been birthed into something phenomenal, but we didn't have no pamphlets to prepare us for life. So we constructed ourselves into unfinished projects. So she sells pussy between morning sickness. Her love is just $1 bill away. But this is nothing like Pretty Woman. She will never be a princess. Don't tell me I need saving. You point those fingers so righteously, all these people pushing for me to practice their piety. Well, I gave your God a chance to save me, so thank you kindly, greatly. But it's just me and my baby. Me and my little girl. Us against the world. Well, sweet dreams, daughter. I'm gonna be your mother. I'm gonna be your father. So every time another man just like her father bought her, she spent the nickels on diamonds for her daughter. Her wounds on her skin are permanent. Her scabs tell stories of bedsides, back alleys, and Harlem. She holds New York underneath her hip bone, but she's tired of the stench of semen on her lip, on her thighs, of sweat in her clothes. He taught her all that she knows, how to use all that her mother gave her. She calls him daddy, just like the one she ran away from because he was raping her. At 13, she sold pussy because lemonade stand profits can't feed the empty mouths of sisters and brothers. When her mother smoked away all she was ever paid, she put a fee on her body. Praying unanswered prayers for a better day from the street corner, she was never saved. Now hold up. Then she said, what would you do? Get up on my feet, let go of every excuse. Come on, what would you do? Because I wouldn't want my baby to go through what I went through. Come on, what would you do? Get up on my feet, stop making tired excuses. What would you do? Girl, I know if my mother can do it. Baby, I know you can do it too. She had prisms for eyes. And one time she took off her mask and let me inside. I paid her for her time, told her she was valuable, and she replied, about as valuable as the next man in line. Well, I came to tell you that you're beautiful, and I think you're lovely. I think you're made for more than you settled for. She said, all of them tell me that they love me. So she sells pussy behind 2nd Baptist on 3rd, and that's the closest she's been to Jesus in over a decade. She used to never miss a Sunday, used to sing hymns and tunes like the angels, but her wings were clipped the moment she let him slip in. I used to dream. I never meant to quit. Who's to blame for this bullshit? Girl, I will not even mention it. The hands that were dealt, I don't understand, and I don't know all the answers, and I don't know all the plans. I just wanted to tell you that you're beautiful, and I think you're lovely. I think you know love, that loves the unloving. So now her body sings anthems, beatboxing of lips locking, the fading of the trouble of a heart, the mixture of her crying because every inch hurts. And she has no more words, but she'll keep this song like home. He is my survival story. But she doesn't have one. Yeah, you told me your God was gorgeous, but I just cannot see it. I want so badly to see in color. I want so badly just to believe it. She's got a kaleidoscope soul, but she's got grayscale lenses. Just a song of empty streets, of police sirens. What would you do if your son was at home? She's got all of her emotions hung up like hooks in her closets. Of sex requests whispered on ears. I can hear her song from time to time. And the only way to feed him is to sleep with a man just for a little bit of money. She's got hints of happiness tucked away in her lockets. She's got high hopes of heaven stapled to the doors of her cabinets. She wraps the hopes up in packets of personal baggage to mask it. When the city is quiet, I can hear the sound of her feet wandering like a nomad to nowhere, her beggar song. It never fails to break my heart. So for you, this is just a good time. But for me, this is what I call life. She's got angels singing to her from the lips of ballerinas in a music box that she keeps locked behind a door that's cemented to her heart of rocks. But if you knock long enough, they say that door could be open. She lives in my eardrums now, so I will never forget her sound. Because her face is just too hard to remember. I think you're still loved. I think it's still true. I think there's still more hope out there for you. I think you're beautiful. And I think you're lovely. I think you know love that loves the unloving.